Well, hello everybody. You could call me TMT for short or this man Ty for long. It don't matter. And today in this video, we will be talking about Spider-Man Web of Shadows. I'm going to be breaking down everything because I played the game on stream recently in 2026. So, let's get right into it. So, to begin off the video, we are going to talk about how the game starts off. So, for those of you that are not aware of this game is obviously you play as Spider Man and everything. It is a free roaming game. You're able to free roam, web swing wherever you want into the city of New York and everything. You are able to switch between the black suit and the red suit at any time off of a click of a button. And you are also able to make decisions in this game, and it affects the story, his relationships with certain people, and everything. So, I hope that was a good enough intro for y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this. So, we're going to start off with some of the characters that are introduced into this game. We got characters in this game that's normally not in any other Spider Man games. Like, for example, Wolverine. Wolverine is not a character you see in many Spider-Man games. You know, the only other game he's been in that I'm aware of is Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, if there's any other games that he may have been in that I don't know about, you can call me out on it in the comment section. You know, and no, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance or whatever, that don't count because that's not a Spider-Man game. That is a multi-Marvel game. Now, moving forward, we also have Moon Knight. You know, Moon Knight is in the game as well. You know, then next thing you know, we have Black Widow. You know, how often you see Black Widow in the game. And we also have the unique characters that's in typical Spider-Man storylines like Venom, you know, Electro. Who else? We have a lot. So we have a good selection of characters in the game and everything. So we are also going to now move on to the black suit. The black suit in this game affects Spider-Man in a much more different way than he does in like Spider-Man 3 or anything. Because for one, like for example, in Spider-Man 3, he was able to get rid of the black suit and that was it. You know, in this game, you were able to allow the black suit to take over, and we all know how that goes. So that's one thing I do actually find unique about this game is the fact that you are able to switch between the black and the red suit at any time, and you're able to pick the different paths, such as relationship between Mary Jane or with Black Cat. You are able to actually choose a girlfriend. If you want to be with Black Cat, then you end up with Black Cat. You know, that's your shorty. You could dump Mary Jane, or you could just reject Black Cat and go with Mary Jane. I find that very unique because usually in any other Spider-Man story, he goes for Mary Jane over Black Cat. So to have an option to pick that is definitely something you don't get in a lot of Spider-Man games. You know, not only that, there's multiple endings into this game. You know, they have very dark endings. Like the ending is very dark when you think about it, because if you were to pick the dark path, Spider-Man takes over the city and is the villain of the entire story, and he replaces Venom. You know, and we're gonna get to Venom. You know, we will get to Venom. But yeah, dark path and a good path. One thing I can say about that is the fact that you were able to choose different paths for certain sections of the game. So if you wanted to, you can do savage things, like for example, rip Wolverine in half. Yes, you can rip Wolverine in half. That was crazy. You know, you can do that, and Wolverine is out for blood after he sees you. You know, so if you run into him again, he ain't gonna be no talking. We all, for those of you that are fans of Wolverine, knows how Wolverine is. He don't play. He don't play that. You know, and then not only that, we are also able to, you know, choose your allies. If you have good allies and everything like that, that's because you're on the good path. So you would have allies like Luke Cage, who else? Moon Knight, and many more. And so as for the dark path, you would have Black Cat, Vulture, and many more as well. One thing I find unique about this game is the fact that you were able to choose. You're able to choose where you wanna. You're able to choose where you want to go as far as good or bad. That is the beautiful thing about this game. So now we're gonna move on to the villains. Pretty much the biggest villain of the game, Venom. Now Venom, he changed this entire game in the second half of the game. So for those of you that are aware, in the half point of the game, you go to a prison. My fault. You go to a prison. You break out a scientist known as the Tinkerer. Everybody's looking at you like you crazy, and now you're over here like, okay, here's my plan. Don't lock me up or anything, because Venom takes over the city in the second half, pretty much, and messes up the entire city. You swing it around, the city is a mess. You gotta rescue people and all of that, and it's a mess. And it's all thanks to Venom. It's Symbiote City. It is a symbiote. It's like a zombie apocalypse, but a symbiote apocalypse. Definitely a place where I would not want to be. And after you do all of that, you after you do all the missions, get up to the final boss, you fight Venom and all of that. If you were to choose the dark path, then all that build up for the Tinkerer that he's done to build the machine, he messes around and destroys it. And I mean Spider-Man. If you pick the dark path, Spider-Man destroys the machine and turns into a supervillain, pretty much. And then if you fight Eddie Brock or Venom or whoever, however you would like to call it, then make sure to know if you pick the dark path, you are basically replacing Venom, which is something that you would never think would happen in a Spider-Man game. He literally takes over the city, and if you have Black Cat with you, then Black Cat is going to be by your side. And yeah, you just take over the whole city. You're the new Venom. All the symbiotes praise you, and now Black Widow and the Kingpin and everybody and Wolverine want Spider-Man just like that, you know. So I really enjoyed this game. I enjoyed playing this game. One thing I can say about playing the game in 2026, it was great. It was a great experience because it was a good way to go back to go back to the old roots, you know. Of course, it wasn't the original OG Spider-Man, but it still has that. It's still a classic. Okay, it's still a classic. Wonderful game. I loved it. I'm done with rambling. I was just letting y'all know my thoughts on playing Spider-Man Web of Shadows in 2026. And make sure y'all tap in with my streams. You know, I do be playing a lot of games on streams, and I will be making content on them. And I'm going to go from there. So I appreciate those of y'all that tapped in, and we are out of here.